in the 6 years I played after I left. But that's how this thing goes. I'm just grateful I got 14 in Cleveland. So I think now is competitive. Now that I'm kind of out of the competitive deal, I think it's fitting that Lou Groza remains the all-time leading scorer because he is the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you.
We'll go to Marla next.
How you doing, Phil? Congratulations.
Good to see you.
Just had to see you. Anyway, I just wanted to ask sort of along those lines, but not exactly. Like, when you become a kicker in the NFL, do you ever think a kicker's going to be in the Ring of Honor? I mean, it's not exactly like a position that, you would expect, the longevity or anything of it.
No, you're right. And that's the job. I mean, you kind of know coming in that, your path is going to be different than a lot of other players. And, I had to narrow it down to what was I trying to quote prove. And to me, it boiled down to I wanted to earn the trust and respect of my teammates and coaches. And then if it grew from there, that was great. Obviously, anyone likes to earn trust and respect. I think I did that with the fans, and I think this honor this weekend shows I did so for the city and the organization. But my focus was to be a dependable, reliable player that my teammates and coaches could count on to do his job. And I just kind of went to work, and it's I can remember waking up like year 10, for example, and I couldn't believe it because to me it was a Tuesday. And what do I got to do on Tuesday to get better? And so you just kind of start stacking those days, and then years go by, and then before you know it, your career's over, and whatever happens after your career happens. But to have former teammates and coaches reach out to me, and I got a message from Joe Thomas this morning, and the things he said to me, I can't even believe, because I was just the kicker over there doing my thing, and here's the greatest left tackle to ever play professional football thanking me for the job I did and how I helped him. So I mean that's the special sauce. When your teammates and coaches could count on you to do your job, I can't think of anything more rewarding than that.
Shannon singing the national anthem?
I hope not, because I can't handle it. I get so nervous when she does that. Hopefully they haven't asked her to do that, because my emotions are already on edge. I'm gonna try to hold it together this weekend. I don't know if I could do it if she was singing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Mary Kay.
Mary Kay's hiding. We don't even get to see her.
Hello, Phil. Congratulations.
Did anybody hear that? I couldn't hear it.
I think your audio is messing up, Mary Kay.
You guys can't hear me.
We'll come back to Mary Kay. We can go to Nate next.
Hey, Phil, I just had a real quick follow-up on the high school football front. I've been doing some stories with some guys who are former NFL players who are now head coaches in high school football, and one of them is your former Browns teammate, Jason Trusnick, who's at Strongsville now.
Yep.
So I was wondering, now that you have a few, you're in, I think, your third season in charge of the Hyde Park Panthers. What advice would you give to another former NFL player who's making that same exact transition to be a high school head coach?
Yeah, I think most guys coming out of the league obviously are going to have a pretty high level football IQ. And I think the tendency is to make the player fit into the scheme. And you got to recognize you're not dealing with NFL guys that can pretty much do anything you ask them to do. So my advice and what I've had to learn is to figure out who do we have? What can we do? And then fit the scheme around the player. A term I use all the time with my staff is where are we and how do we get better? It really doesn't matter where we quote should be. I mean, that's a waste of time kind of whining about that. We should be able to do this. We should be able to do that. Well, it doesn't matter. You're not there yet. So where are we? How do we get better? And that requires kind of a player-centric focus. Why was Troy Aikman, why did he transfer from Oklahoma and go to UCLA? Because Oklahoma ran the triple option and Troy Aikman's not a triple option quarterback. That's a perfect example. Like, you got to build your scheme around what your players can do. And I think that's tough. I know it was for me, coming from the highest level with all the elaborate X's and O's, and you've got toys to play with at that level. At the high school level, you don't have as many toys, yet you still have a job to do. So build everything you do around who do you have, what can you do, and fit the scheme around the player.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Scott, next.
Hey, Phil, I was curious, what do you think when you see the Browns having some success, which they didn't have a ton of, as a team when you were here, obviously. And then even like when Dustin Hopkins has a great year and, breaks some of your records or closes in on some of them. How do you kind of react to those things?
Love it. Been a long time coming. I think as things have calmed down, I feel like the organization is kind of on firm footing and kind of knows who they are. And those were things that weren't true when I was there. We were constantly changing everything and kind of starting over every year. I think as that foundation's been laid, now you're seeing more stability on the field and more success. So I still watch every Browns game, and it sure does help my Sunday when the Brownies win. So that's great to see. I'm fired up for Dustin. Y'all finally got another Texas boy up there kicking the ball. Maybe there's something to that. We grew up kicking in the wind, and last time I checked, the wind blows a little bit in Cleveland. I will say, though, and y'all know me, so this is not a slam in any way, shape, or form. They've closed in a lot of those corners, so I don't think the wind blows near like it used to when I was there. So that's my little jab at Dustin. But he is doing fantastic. I love it. It's been tough for me seeing all the guys struggle through the years. The first time they miss a kick, they got to hear about, well, Phil would have made it. And I think it's unfair to them that they had to hear that. So for Dustin to just step in, take the bull by the horns and go, hopefully all that'll die down, and now we can celebrate not only Dustin making kicks, but the Browns winning games.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, I think we have someone who wants to say a few words. Joe?
Hey, what's up, Phil? Joe Thomas here.
Yeah, man.
What's up? Murph opened the back door and let me slide in, so I had to come in and listen in. I appreciate the words you were saying there about coaching. Now that I've sort of began my coaching career a little bit, coaching in Germany this summer and starting to coach my son in flag football, and as he's getting a little bit older, so that was cool. But it was really special for me this week, now that you're going into the Browns Legends Club, to be able to recall and recant the story that you gave to us of the Civil War flags. If you remember,
Oh, yeah.
that talk that we had and sort of the rally cry we had that season with the flag was so special, inspirational, something I still think about. I talked about it with my guys in Munich. Of course, being Germans, they probably didn't understand the Civil War reference quite as well as we would, coming from the States, you being from the South, me being from the North.
Yep.
But I think it still rang true and it hit home. And it's been so fun for me to be able to kind of think about the emotions and the memories that we made as teammates, you being the OG Brown from 99 and then continuing on for most of my career. So just excited on your family to be able to be in Cleveland this weekend and rightfully join the club with the greatest Browns of all time.
Joe, that means the world to me, man. And I'd follow any flag you were carrying anytime. Yeah, you were simply the best, and we all knew it the first day you ever walked into the facility. And you know, I was just trying to do my part. I know you had the left side nailed down, and you really took the torch when, you know, Cribbs and I kind of phased out. You were already who you were, but you really took the weight and you just led that whole organization. And it doesn't surprise me a bit. But I really appreciated you doing what you did even after I left. And I respected you already, but I know the burden you felt, and I know the weight you carried, and you did it with such class, and you're a Hall of Famer off the field. Everybody knows what you did on the field, but you're the full package, man.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. Hope you enjoy the weekend with the family and with Browns Nation. You definitely deserve it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Okay, if we don't have any last questions, we'll let Phil go. And thank you all so much. And congratulations, Phil.
Thank y'all. Good to see you.
Good to see you.